Welcome, welcome. Today we're gonna talk about overwhelm. It's something that I never felt because I'm perfect. No, I'm kidding. As a mom of two and as a business owner, believe me, I know what it means to be overwhelmed. And I was really overwhelmed actually until not long ago. And at times also I feel overwhelmed. So I totally get what it feels to be overwhelmed. But also I have some tricks I'm gonna share with you today that I learned as a subconscious expert and rapid resolution therapy specialist. First of all, through the lenses of subconscious reprogramming and rapid resolution therapy, overwhelm is being created by when we think about something that we want to create and we think about it like as a big picture. For example, I cannot just bring myself to do the YouTube channel, the YouTube video. I cannot just bring myself to create the YouTube video and put it out there. It just feels overwhelming. It's because we're seeing all the steps together. An easy way to feel less overwhelming is just to put things on a paper, first of all, and just put the desire you have or the goal you have. For example, posting a YouTube video, which is really relatable for myself at least. I've been there. Posting a YouTube video, okay, on a paper. What are the steps that will bring you to post the YouTube video? Scripting or journaling about the idea, one step. Scripting the idea, like the steps that I want to talk about. Video recording, video editing, and then posting. So when you start to break down the steps, you see how things feel less scary, it's less overwhelming. I can see the steps and it's like, okay, now that I have these steps, on Monday, I'm gonna do the journaling. On Tuesday, I'm gonna do the scripting. Wednesday, I'm gonna do the recording. And on Thursday, I'm gonna do the editing. And on Thursday, I'm gonna do the posting. Can you see how the steps are more clear now? And then through the subconscious lens, when you put an idea on mind, like I want to do a YouTube video, mine just sees like something that is like so broad, you cannot just grasp it, so it will not be possible. It's just nothing really. But when mine can see the image of you doing it, for example, if you say, I'm gonna journal about this idea that I have, I'm gonna do it actually as soon as I wake up at around 6:30. I'm gonna put the alarm at 6, and then at 6:30 I'm gonna sit down and do the journaling. And then the next day at 10 a.m. I'm gonna do the script. And then the next day on Wednesday at 10 a.m. I'm gonna do the recording. And can you see how now that I'm saying all the details, you can really see it? You can actually see yourself sitting down and writing and journaling. And do that, copy and paste this for whatever you want to achieve in your life, whatever you've been putting on a side because you have this procrastination going on and the overwhelm of like, oh my gosh, it's just too much. Because the truth is that mind was not able to grasp what you really wanted to do. When you put an idea into little bits of it, mind gets it. And when you can see it, mind gets it. Okay, that's easy. 6:30, you're gonna be journaling. That's gonna happen. Another thing that happens also when clients come to me because of the overwhelm, they will be saying, I just cannot bring myself into posting on YouTube. Every time I just even think about it, I just go frozen and I procrastinate it, and it's been like 3 years and I didn't do it. It's been happening until now. That's how things have been. And then there is a present, which is what it is. And then there is a future. The thing is that sometimes we tend to see our past in the future. It's been this way, so it will be that way. But the truth is that it doesn't have to be the same as the past, right? So it doesn't have to be a pattern, how people will say, just is a pattern, it's really unhealthy, and it's always happening. We don't have to do something just because we did it in the past. We don't have to necessarily repeat it in the future. We can find a solution, switch meanings, and just do things differently. So try this thing, try kind of to break down whatever you want to create, because I don't know if you heard about the butterfly effect. The most amazing tsunamis, you can ask any successful business owner, or like I'm sure there is also examples in your life. The biggest amazing shift you created in your business, in your life, they were like compound of multiple little things that happen every day. So eventually you can reach 100k subscribers on YouTube. You can reach posting one YouTube video per week. There are all things that are achievable when you start to break them down into little pieces, and mind, when I say mind, is unconscious mind, gets it, that is doable, that is what you want. Because also unconscious mind doesn't see the world as we see consciously. In the hierarchy perspective, unconscious mind is kind of processing data that is coming from our environment, right? And sometimes because of things that happened to us in the past, or just mind programming or limiting beliefs, some data gets stuck and that creates distortions, meanings. Like for example, the meaning of like, I'm just the kind of person that I don't finish what I start. I'm just the kind of person that I don't know what happened. I'm just my worst enemy. Every time I start the idea, it just feels overwhelming. It's not who you are. They're just stories that you've been telling yourself that you can just stop telling yourself. And how do you do that? Through mind reprogramming. You can hire a rapid resolution therapist. You can actually do it by yourself as well, by just sitting down from today. As soon as you finish this video, or like if you can do it even now, just take pen and paper and just write down, okay, today is Monday or whatever it is. I'm gonna do journaling. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. I'm gonna do this. Da, 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 da. And of course, it will take a little bit of effort beginning, but when you start to do it more often and more often, it will become an identity. It will become just who you are. You are a YouTuber. And this, I'm giving you the example of YouTube because that's relatable for me. But it could be really anything. So I hope this video is helping you to really start to notice that the overwhelm is okay. It's okay sometimes to feel overwhelmed, but it doesn't have to be that way. And also, whenever you've been feeling stuck about doing something that you love, that you know is gonna help your business or just make you feel like more fulfilled, there is possibility to get unstuck. There is possibility actually to do it. All you have to do is just to communicate efficiently with your unconscious mind, which is really responsible of 95% of your activities and your life, really. So when you know how to unblock the unconscious side, life gets to be so much easier. Another thing that comes to me to say about overwhelm is sometimes when our nervous system is activated and there is like a stress response, you will feel like this feeling of restlessness, right? Mind will perceive posting on YouTube, for example, as danger because it's seeing you as like feeling really anxious about it. So mind will perceive it as a danger and will do anything is possible for you to avoid it. And will do that by creating fear from the unconscious side of the mind, and the fear will be experienced in the conscious side of your mind in order for you to make you do something about the situation. That mind in that moment is understanding as danger. One way to kind of get over that is to actually feel all the feelings. I'm sure that at some point in your life you felt like all the feelings because you were doing something totally new. Presentation, you were doing something that was out of the ordinary, and you felt all the feelings and you did it anyway, and then after it was like second nature. When you understand that even though unconsciously mind gets things that's a lion and they will be dead after the posting on the video, you get it that you're safe, okay, and the more you go towards the fear, the more the fear will become smaller and smaller, because mind will get it. They're still alive after you post it on YouTube or Instagram or whatever. You are still alive after you did those things, and all those sensations in the body will just go away like they always had. One thing that comes to me as well is also telling you that those meanings, you can drop them. They're not who you are. You could have think maybe at the beginning that you were a procrastinator, or that it just was too overwhelming, but you can kind of drop those meanings really and start to actually to break down whatever you want to create in little pieces that mind can get it what you want, and then you can start doing it. Something that comes also to say that is an exercise that is super useful to do is whenever we are feeling some feelings, like for example, let's say you want to create this YouTube video and there is this big resistance. Of course, it's because you're doing something unknown, and for unconscious mind that prime objective is to make you survive and then thrive. If you're doing something unknown, for unconscious mind is like dangerous, right? So whenever you're feeling those feelings, instead of putting the meaning of like, oh, okay, that must be fear because it is unsafe for me to post, what about like going towards the posting? And also sometimes those feelings could be because of meanings. Like for example, something that was coming for me as an entrepreneur is I don't matter. That was one of my limiting beliefs. I don't matter. So another exercise you can do is like just write down the name, whatever it is that the feeling is. If you are, close your eyes and you kind of tap into your heart. You put your hands on your heart and you ask yourself why you're not posting on YouTube or whatever it is that you want to create or do. You will hear the voice saying something, because nobody cares. For example, that was another one. For another person, one of my clients, nobody cares. Or like for me was, I don't matter. I don't matter. Okay. So you will take that word, that limiting belief, you put it on a paper. You just write it down and you look at it, and then you say it aloud. I don't matter. And then you breathe, but for 5 seconds. And then you breathe out for 5 seconds. And then once again, I don't matter. Then, and when another time, I don't matter. And you just sit with it. And when you sit with it and you look at that, almost like if you see it as in a whiteboard, I don't matter, you start to understand that that's a total sorry. So once you saw that sentence in the paper and you do the breathing exercise with that sentence, you start to understand that and feel that doesn't make any sense. And it's actually quite hilarious when you see it in the whiteboard. How crazy is that? Will you put that as a poster in your bedroom? It doesn't make any sense. Will you say that to your children or your loved ones or your friends? No, it just doesn't make any sense. You're a beautiful creature. You're perfectly unique, perfectly you, and you matter. For example, if that was your favorite, whatever it is, put it on a paper, breathe it out, breathe in and breathe out, and then replace that. Once you realize it doesn't make any sense, replace that with an actual and empowering belief, something that is actually gonna help you go to the next level. And for example, for me was I can make a difference. There are people out there that need my help. This is why I have this mission within my heart. My mission matters so much, actually, and I matter because there are literally people out there looking for me or waiting for me to show up for them. Like so many people also were there to show up for me when I needed coaches or guides or like mentors or even friends or strangers in the street. Like we are all connected and we all matter. When you start to see that and you start to feel it in your body, you start to with the saying that will you write it down? Just you cross the other, like I did here. You cross it, and then on the bottom you cross it, and then on the bottom write down the empowering belief of like what I do matters. People are literally waiting for me to show up for them. We all matters. We're all connected, and then you put in a sentence that is short enough for you to do this exercise. So for example, you can say I can make a difference. So I can make a difference. I can make a difference. See if a color start to show up. For example, for me now I can see this like beautiful pink, and when you inhale in, you can inhale in the pink light, which could be the symbol that your mind chose for this intention, for this belief, this new belief that you want to be embedded in your mind. So I can make a difference. I can make a difference. So see how your body is changing. Like I can see like tingling sensation in my hands. My mind feels fresher. Like I changed my state. You're so much more powerful than you can believe. So that's a really useful exercise to do when you're feeling overwhelmed as well. To just really like write it down, write all down. Because again, when we are feeling overwhelmed, it's because we have so many ideas, so many things just all tangled up together, and mind just cannot keep up with all of that. It's just it's no unconscious mind speaks for really narrowed down concept and visual symbols, stories. It's to be like something that is possible to see with visuals. So if you say, I just want to post on YouTube, it's just a concept. It's not even, you're not there in the picture. But if you say, I see myself sitting down on Monday and doing the journaling about it, and then I see myself sitting down at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, see how things are different. And if something comes up like, I'm always, I don't know, I'm always stopping when I start something. Like, again, you can do that the same exercise for that as well, to kind of shift the beliefs. And it's such a beautiful exercise because I've done so much shadow work and so many stuff on energetics, but this is so short and it's so efficient. So you don't have to sit down and write journals and fill up workbooks for hours and hours. This is just one sentence, cross it over, another sentence, and the power of your breath, right? It's so beautiful. So I hope this was useful. This is like a cheerful kind of YouTube video. I actually forgot to record with the microphone, and now I have the microphone on. Um, but you know what? I'm just testing myself to go and do the extra mile to be myself and to be authentic to me, even when that means being imperfect. So I hope you appreciate this video, even if it's not perfect, and that you're gonna come along for the ride. Because I'm a little YouTube channel now, but I have big dreams for this YouTube channel, and I'm planning on posting every week inspirational content for you to live the best life you can possibly even imagine, and even more than that, and doing it with inner peace, with a sense of purpose, and with vision and through play and joy. Mm, that sounds yummy. If this is for you, just press subscribe there, like this video, and see you next week. Mwah, love you.